The FBI, they had Hunter's laptop. They were afraid it was going to come out. So they warned Zuckerberg and Twitter, something's coming down the pike, and it's going to be Russia disinformation. And so when Hunter's laptop was revealed first by the New York Post, they censored it because they said, oh, this is what they were warning us about. Part of what we do, obviously, is educate you. And one way we educate you is by finding out what the government's up to so you know what the government is doing, certainly with respect to abusing your rights. And we have another new lawsuit on censorship to follow up our documentary against the Office of Director of National Intelligence, the Biden agency. The Office of Director of National Intelligence is, I think it was created in the days after 9/11, right, I think? And to help organize and keep everyone on the same page. The intelligence agencies, right? You know, you had the CIA, the National Security, the NSA, National Security Administration, FBI, et cetera. And so it became just another bureaucratic center, in my view. But like all government bureaucracies, unless they're policed and held to account, they break your rights, to be blunt. And the Office of Director of National Intelligence got involved and has been involved and has escalated its role in trying to censor you. And so Judicial Watch sued for records under the Freedom of Information Act. And per usual, this Biden agency doesn't want to follow federal law, and they're withholding the information. And that's why we're in federal court. So there's a federal lawsuit for information about what the Deep State Intelligence Agency, the ODNI, is doing in terms of communicating specifically with Twitter, now known as X, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit. TikTok, the irony there is that TikTok is a Chinese communist firm. YouTube, Instagram, concerning, quote, foreign influence operations, quote, misinformation, disinformation, which are words that the left has come up with for opinions and facts and analyses that they don't like and should be censored. Policies and procedures and strategic plans and working groups established with governmental, non-governmental organizations or private entities. So there's all this collusion going on. So we want to know who they're talking to. And they created this under the National Counterterrorism Center, or in concert with it, the Foreign Malign Influence Center, which essentially is the Biden administration's new censorship operation. In April 2022, the Department of Homeland Security announced the Disinformation Governance Board. The new agency quickly became a flashpoint of controversy, characterized by critics, me, Judicial Watch, anyone with common sense, as a frontal assault on the First Amendment. In August of 2022, it was disbanded. So it was even too far for the Biden administration. But just a month later, in September, the Foreign Malign Influence Center was established under the Office of Director of National Intelligence with essentially the same mission, quote, as the primary U.S. government organization for analyzing and integrating all intelligence and other reporting possessed or acquired pertaining to foreign malign influence, including election security. So you're going to have the deep state intelligence operations monitoring election security under the guise of controlling, using it, suggesting that the best way to do that is by policing misinformation and disinformation. The center has proposed a private-public initiative calling for significant monetary and resource investment by the government for enhancing information sharing with the private sector entities. So this is exactly what they did with Hunter, right? They said the FBI, they had Hunter's laptop. They were afraid it was going to come out. So they warned Zuckerberg and Twitter, something's coming down the pike, and it's going to be Russia disinformation. And so when Hunter's laptop was revealed first by the New York Post, they censored it because they said, oh, this is what they were warning us about. And sure enough, after that story was published, you had these 51 national security officials who abused their security clearances to falsely label the Hunter laptop story as Russia disinformation, further providing excuses and pretexts for further censorship and interference in our elections. Now they want to bring that all in-house and be explicit about it through this Office of Director of National Intelligence. The Biden administration apparently believes it can resurrect its domestic thought police inside the heart of America's spy agencies, and no one would notice. Well, Judicial Watch noticed, and we will pursue the facts in spite of the Office of Director of National Intelligence illegal stonewalling. Illegal stonewalling. So I think it's worth repeating. When we're in court over a Freedom of Information Act request, it is because the federal government's breaking the law. Every FOIA lawsuit, and we've filed, I would think by 1,000 by now, maybe not that many, but a lot, hundreds, in the high hundreds, is evidence of government misconduct, corruption, and abuse, because it's all law breaking. When they're withholding documents to us that they owe us in contrary to law, it's a violation of the federal rules and federal law that you would, if you broke the rules, if you broke federal law, what would happen to you if there was a criminal sanction? They come after you, right? There's no criminal sanction for breaking federal FOIA law, or nothing in the statute. But under the Bush rules, under the Biden rules, everything potentially is a crime. So that's my long way of saying that I shouldn't say criminal abuse. There's abuse taking place right now of your civil rights in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and they're hiding information about it. It's a scandal. For instance, is Congress going to defund this? Maybe they should. Will they? Maybe they can use the continuing resolution fight that's coming up in a few weeks to defund it. This is what I'm talking about when I say Congress needs to defund the Biden censors of American citizens. This is a censorship operation. Now, in addition to the documentary we put out, we have a lot of litigation on the censorship. We sued the CIA for similar documents. Well, actually, more specifically about their involvement in the effort to shut down the Hunter Biden lawsuit, the Hunter Biden laptop case. We had a case, it's ongoing, I think it's on appeal now in California over explicit censorship by that state, their Secretary of State's office, of me, yours truly, and Judicial Watch, because we were telling the truth about election integrity before the election, and they got YouTube to take down a video of one of our weekly updates. So we have other litigation going on as well. I think we have at least 10 lawsuits at this point. I haven't counted them on this censorship apparatus, in addition to this great documentary. So we'll see what we get from the Biden censorship operation at the Office of Director of National Intelligence. We don't wait for Congress to figure things out. We act for you, the American people. Try to get the information, irrespective of whether or not there's a Speaker of the House of Representatives, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.